Ever since I was a young child, I always wanted to be a doctor. I had friends, family, teachers, mentors telling me, you're gonna go be a doctor one day or a scientist or something, and I took that as great compliments, and I really did want to do it. So when I got to Tulane, I decided to start with my pre-med courses, and I was in biology and chemistry, the chemistry lab, and also the service learning for biology. So I felt that was starting off with a really strong foundation with the sciences because it's what I wanted to do. However, when I got into chemistry, I realized that high school really didn't prepare me for it, and I studied as best as I could, and we got the results from our first test back, and I made a solid 18 out of 100, and that was with me studying. And it was absolutely devastating and very embarrassing that I tried, and to say that you got only an 18 out of 100 on a test is just very disappointing. And so that night when I got it back, I just went back into my room, like made myself into a human burrito in my sheets, and I cried, tears of manliness, of course, and just I was very upset. But I realized from there that you know, okay, I've hit rock bottom with this, so and I'm still alive, so I can keep going from this, and so I went to the Success Center to get help with tutoring. I found peers who had done better on the test and understood the material really well to help me out. And I even went to the professor during his office hours. And one of the things that really got me was that when I went to go see the professor at the office hours, and he saw that I had made an 18, and since the course is very cumulative, he was expressing to me his concerns that I might not be able to pass the class eventually because of how well or poorly I did on this first test, and he recommended that I drop the class. And he wasn't the only person that recommended I drop the class. It was my academic advisor, my mentor here on campus, the professor, and even just other friends that I spoke to about my concern about this. And I just, as much as I wanted to do it, I realized that, if I drop it now, I'm going to have to take a science course later on anyway. And so I might as well, get it over with, like a shot, just do it. And so I really did apply myself, and I kept visiting with the professor, and I told him, as much as I want to drop the class, I can't, because I want to succeed. I want to keep going on. And, the professor saw that I had that resilience to keep going forward with it, and the motivation was there to pass. And so I ended up going from like an 18 on the first test to ending up with an overall C average at the end of the semester. And even though it's not the perfect A or the better B, it's still I'm still happy with it. I'm still smiling. I'm still going on with my life, and I just learned from that. And so, even though I failed that first test, from that I gained better study habits and just more connections on campus with figuring out who I am as a person. I've proudly changed my major about 3 times now, and I'm hopeful that I won't change again because I feel like it's all just a matter of trial and error. I started here at Tulane with the idea that I wanted to go to medical school, and so I chose cell and molecular biology as my primary major. And just I took the required courses for it my first semester of my freshman year, and it was just I didn't enjoy the classes. Like, I felt that it was just a struggle even to show up for those classes, and I didn't feel motivated to do them. I kept asking myself, like, why am I here? Why am I taking this stuff? I don't want to torture myself with these classes. And using that word, like that's when it really hit me that, like, if I'm calling like these classes torture, am I really in the right, major? And then I started to think that, I don't want to let the people that I told that I'm going to be doing, you know, sciencey stuff, or that I'm going to med school, I don't want to let them down, because my family was very supportive of that, maybe a little pushy at times that I should go to med school, but I realized that it's not for me. It's not something that I really enjoy as thought as I would or did, and you just have to keep trying different things to find your niche, essentially. And so one day while I was studying for this bio test that I could care anymore for, like, my roommate was being quite verbal about his struggles with his accounting homework, and he was just like getting frustrated that he kept on making the same errors, and it was just messing up his whole system. And so I was like, I don't know much about accounting, but I'm fairly good with math, and it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I could see what I can help out. And I looked at it, and it just came very naturally to me that I was able to like just follow the patterns that was happening and just keep the flow consistent. And it reminded me back of the time when I used to work at Laser Tag of Metairie as a event coordinator for private parties, and just the whole logistics of planning and just working with people really, like, I realized I had a natural tendency for it, and so I decided to try out financial accounting and microeconomics my next semester, and I did really well in those classes, and I enjoyed them, and it was such a stark difference from the previous semester when I was struggling to even show up for the classes because I didn't feel motivated for them, as opposed to now that or later, that I was in classes that I enjoyed and that I really found value in them. And so just don't feel ashamed or weird about changing majors. Like, life's all about trial and error, and you have to keep on trying different things until you find the perfect fit for you. I like for other people to know that it's okay to ask for help. We all fail at times, no one's perfect, but it's perfectly fine, and to just, ask for help. If you have like that will and like that want to succeed in something, then by all means you should ask for help. Like, that whole feeling of embarrassment, it only lasts for a second, and it's only at the beginning. And once you get it over with, it's done, and people notice more on like your effort and your resilience as opposed to your flaws. It's just, it's okay to reach out. There are tons of people on campus to assist you. There are people.